Dolores Watts had never been on an airplane. She was 71 years old when she finally boarded one. And the reason she boarded it was because her 2 sons had paid for the trip. It was a gift for her 70th birthday, delivered a few months late. Her older son Raymond put the travel agency envelope on the kitchen table and said, "Mom, you've worked your whole life. We want you to go see something. Free nights in San Francisco. All arranged." Her younger son Gary was sitting beside him, smiling. "Flights booked. I'll drive you to the airport myself." Dolores looked at the envelope for a long time without picking it up. She was not too moved to speak. She was puzzled. Raymond and Gary had not done anything together for her in years. Holidays, one of them always had an excuse. Birthdays, one was always missing. Now here they were, side by side, both smiling. She put the envelope on the table and went to make coffee. "Thank you, boys." That was all. The thank you was genuine. But something small and dense had settled in her chest when she said it. The morning she left, Gary drove her to the airport. In the car he said, "Mom, enjoy yourself out there. Don't worry about the house. Don't worry about the house." Dolores looked out the passenger window. A son telling you not to worry about. The house was the kind of thing that made you think about the house. At the airport she joined the tour group. About 20 people, most of them couples. The one other person traveling alone was a woman named Barbara, somewhere in her early 70s, with a loud laugh and an easy way with strangers. She sat next to Dolores on the plane and said, "Are you by yourself too? Good. We'll stick together." Dolores said that suited her fine. San Francisco was loud and bright. And unfamiliar in a way that felt like waking up. They walked the waterfront. They rode a cable car. They ate clam chowder in a bread bowl on Fisherman's Wharf. Barbara talked through most of it, which was fine, because Dolores had a quiet thing moving around in her mind that she could not pin down. That first night they shared a room. After washing up they sat propped against their pillows in the dark and talked. Barbara said, "Your kids set this trip up?" "My 2 sons. That's sweet." Dolores said, after a moment, "Maybe." Barbara laughed. "That maybe has some weight to it. They've never done anything together for me before. Not once." This came out of nowhere. Barbara looked at the ceiling for a moment. Something similar happened to a friend of mine. Her son sent her on a cruise, very generous, and while she was gone, he had a property assessor come through the house. Turned out he'd been quietly trying to arrange a sale. Dolores did not sleep well that night. The next morning was the Golden Gate Bridge. She walked partway across it with the group and tried to pay attention to the view. The bay was silver and enormous. She took a photograph. Her mind was elsewhere. At lunch, a text came from Raymond. "Hey Mom, hope you're having a great time. Need to pop by the house for something. Do you know where the spare key is?" Dolores set down her fork. He knew where the spare key was. He had grown up in that house. She had not moved it in 30 years. Was he telling her on purpose? Was he genuinely asking? She could not decide. Barbara, watching her, said, "Something come in?" Dolores showed her the screen. Barbara read it. "Read it and leave it. Don't reply." "Why?" "Because you don't know anything yet. Could be nothing. Could be something. Either way, you can't get home any faster than tomorrow. And worrying yourself sick while you're sitting here doesn't change a single thing. Just watch." Dolores left the message on read. No further texts came from Raymond that afternoon. If this were happening to you, what would you do? The third night, packing to leave. Barbara said, "When you get home tomorrow, go straight to the house. Before you do anything else, look around. Really look. Check if anything has been moved. You really think something happened. I think you had the right instinct from the start. And I think you should trust it." At the airport in San Francisco the next morning, Gary was waiting at arrivals with a coffee. He asked how everything was, said it looked like she had gotten some sun, carried her bag to the car. Pulling up to her house he said, "Get some rest, Mom. Ray and I will come by next week." She nodded, thanked him, and let herself in. The house looked the same. Standing in the entry, she could not have said what was different. But something was. There was a different quality to the air. Not wrong, exactly. More like recently occupied. And a small framed photo on the hallway console was not quite where she kept it. Dolores went room by room. Kitchen, bedroom, the small study at the back. When she got to the study, She found the fireproof file box she kept on the shelf. The lid was not closed all the way. She always closed it. She opened it and went through the contents. The deed was there. The insurance papers were there. The financial account statements were there. Her power of attorney document was gone. She checked 3 times. She looked behind the hanging files. She looked under the other folders. It was not there. She sat on the edge of the study chair and held very still. Then she called Barbara. "It's Dolores. I'm home. How is it? My power of attorney document is gone." A pause. Barbara said, "Call your county recorder's office first thing tomorrow morning. And ask if any real estate documents have been filed on your property in the last week. And get a new copy of your deed. Make sure your name is still on it." Dolores made the call the next morning. The clerk checked and said there were no pending transfers or filings on the property. The title was still in her name. Still, that word sat heavily. She called the attorney who had drafted her estate documents years ago. He advised her to revoke the existing power of attorney immediately and issue a new, restricted one. She drove to his office that afternoon. She signed the revocation paperwork with her hand completely steady. On the way home she called Raymond. He picked up on the second ring. "Mom, welcome back. How was the trip?" She said, "The power of attorney document is gone from my files, Raymond." Silence. "Mom, let me come over and explain." "Explain on the phone." "Mom, on the phone." He said, "We were trying to think ahead. For you. If anything happened to you, we wanted to be able to act quickly. We thought if we just had the paperwork in order in advance, it would protect you. We weren't going to do anything without telling you." Dolores looked out her living room window. The maple tree in the front yard was putting out its first red leaves. "You were going to protect me by taking the document without asking." Silence. "Was the trip to get me out of the house?" A longer silence. She said, "I want it back by tomorrow. And if it doesn't come back, I'll be calling my attorney." She ended the call. She sat in the living room for a while. Angry, yes, but not undone. The anger was cold and steady, the kind that moves in a straight line. She had already revoked the document. There was nothing left to take. It was Barbara's voice in her head that had gotten her here. Trust your instinct. Look around. Watch. She had listened, and because she had listened, she was 4 steps ahead of where she might have been. Raymond and Gary both came the following week, together, which was at least consistent. Raymond put the power of attorney document on the kitchen table. Gary said they had crossed a line and they knew it. Raymond said they were worried about her and handled it the wrong way. Dolores looked at both of them. "If you were worried, you could have asked me." Gary said, "We thought you'd say no. Then you take no for an answer. It's my life. It's my house." Neither of them spoke. She said, "Nothing involving my finances or my legal documents happens without my knowledge from here forward. Is that understood?" They both said yes. She did not say she forgave them. That was a different conversation for a different day. A few weeks later Barbara sent a text. "Dolores, I'm doing a weekend trip to Savannah in April. Want to come?" Dolores looked at the message for a moment. She wrote back, "I'm in. I'll book my own ticket this time." She booked it herself that afternoon. Searched the airline site, entered her card number, confirmed the reservation. Got the confirmation email. It was the first trip she had ever planned entirely on her own. Not a gift from her children. Not an arrangement someone else made for her. Her trip, for her reasons, on her schedule. The difference between that and what came before was not small. People say the world gets smaller as you get older. But some women find it gets larger. They learn to book their own flights and check their own documents. And ask their own questions and change their own paperwork when the paperwork needs changing. Every one of those things makes them harder to take advantage of. This story is for anyone who is still learning that. You are not too late. New stories every week on this channel. Please subscribe so you never miss the next one.